G'day everyone, how's it going? Welcome to day 1 of the progression guide for Hoyeon. As it stands, day 1 we were only doing our rerolls, and day 2 was when we actually started playing the game, so you can treat this as day 1. Before we start going through the chapters and what things you need to pay attention to, here are some tips to help you proceed through all the story. The first thing you want to be doing on day 1 is focusing on the main story quest. So pretty much all you have to do is always just keep autoing across to whatever the next storyline is. You won't be able to auto all the combat, you will have to dodge and parry for some of the harder fights. When you are auto hunting the mobs in any area, you can set up your settings just like this. You can turn on the AoE if you'd like, however, just keep in mind that this could target too many mobs and could potentially kill your team. When you are too weak, you are going to go into the mode called Mind Training, and you're going to clear this. This is going to give you a lot of EXP pots and upgrade the next set of levels that you can upgrade your characters to. The other thing you can do is in the goals section, you can start clearing all of these quests if you are stuck. These will also give you summons as well as EXP pots to help level up your characters. If you are ever stuck, you can come down here and click on the growth guide. This is going to tell you a list of things you can do to help power up your account to reach the next level of content. One other small tip I like to recommend is changing the camera to free mode. I do think normal is a bit too close, action isn't too bad, but free allows you to zoom all the way out so you can see everything around you. The to-do list is also super handy for checking any content that you need to do in your daily grinds. The last tip I want to talk about is the event quests in the event lobby. Unfortunately, these quests are not retroactive, so you need to complete them one at a time. Chapter 2. In Chapter 2, you unlock summons. In the selected hero obtain chances, feel free to summon anything that requires gold as a resource. In Chapter 2, you also unlock the clan astral map, which is located in your clan domain. All this is stat buffs to your characters and teams. You can simply just unlock each node as you progress through the story. The next thing that is unlocked in Chapter 2 is the Hero Tome. This is just another simple way for you to upgrade your characters. The game will notify you in the notification section if you have any upgrades available. For clearing the story, the team composition can be quite simple. At most, all you need is a main dealer and 1 or 2 healers, plus XX. When it comes to maximizing damage output, however, this will become much more complex. I will be making a video about some recommended team comps for each of the starter heroes. In my opinion, the easiest team to start out with is a main damage dealer, Do-Yul, and 1 healer. Your healer can be this character here called Uwon, who is given to you for free. If you don't manage to pull Do-Yul, you can always use Boren as your cleanser for your team. When it comes to upgrading patrons, I do think it's best to wait until you get the epic or legendary ones and then just choose one and upgrade it all the way. When it comes to feeding, you can honestly just select both the green and the blue one and then just press select all and then upgrade. Let's move on to Chapter 3. At this point, astrology summons are available. Once again, I do not recommend using any crystals to do any summoning, but you can do your free summon daily. Destiny threads are also unlocked in Chapter 3. When starting out the game, I do recommend going to the gold exchange and buying out the daily shop just to help upgrade your characters. Gold is quite easy to obtain, so feel free to buy out the shop whenever it is available. Daily requests are also unlocked in Chapter 3. However, I do recommend you save this until the end of the day. We will talk about this again later on in the video. The Hoyeon log is also unlocked in Chapter 3. The rewards for this are obtained by completing the main story quests. The next thing is the chain effect skills. As you go through the game, you will have to unlock each of these skills for your primary characters. You can have a look at what things you are missing and see if you can get those. I do recommend doing this for any main characters you are using. Goals is unlocked in Chapter 3 as well, as I stated earlier on in the video. All you want to be doing this is that when you are stuck in the main story quest, come through and start AFKing all of these quest lines. It will give you a buff to your whole team as well as lots of goodies. The last thing you unlock in Chapter 3 is the training grounds in your domain. You only need to level up 5 characters in the game. The rest of the mentees will automatically be synced to the lowest of your top 5 characters. I do recommend choosing 5 attacking roles as you are going to be building teams around your main dealers. Leveling up the clan will increase more slots for the mentees, and you can also change them at any time. Until you reach Chapter 6, all you are going to be doing is clearing the main story quests. This is when we unlock gear. In the hero section, if you go to team and then equip info, click on the first character, you're going to equip any gear on your main damage dealer. After that, all you have to do is go and share the gear with your main team. Remember to unlock the rune slot on your gears to help increase your power. In Chapter 6, you will also have access to single clear dungeons. If you are out of entries and want to clear for the first time reward, feel free to use your recharges. In Chapter 6, you also unlock mind training. As we talked about at the start of the video, this is super important for getting EXP pots. Make sure you keep progressing through this as fast as possible. Always read the section to see if it's something you can do to improve your team, and you can always click on the recommended heroes to see how they could help you. Moving on to Chapter 7. In Chapter 7, we unlock the exploration camp. Before you set off on an exploration, try to fulfill as many conditions as you can to increase your chance of getting a better reward, and always try to do the highest level clear that you can. You can adjust the time depending on how long you need before you can log back on. One really cool thing about this game is you can multitask. As you can see on the screen, I'm clearing mobs in the open world, but I'm also doing main training at the same time. If you're able to multitask, this will help speed up your progression quite a bit. In Chapter 8, you also gain access to the public dungeon. This is very simple. All you have to do is go into any area that you want to farm, and you will farm 15 minutes of this daily. I do recommend keeping an eye on your character as they tend to aggro too many mobs, so you may need to make sure that your character doesn't die. Never try to clear any content that is over your level, as you will pretty much just die instantly. In Chapter 9, you unlock party dungeons. Here, you're going to once again go through and get your first time clears for any of the bosses. Feel free to use any recharges if you are doing your first time clear. If you are currently playing, there is an event where most players are going through and clearing each of these dungeons once a day. Also in Chapter 9, you will unlock Chronicle. Chronicle is essentially your team-based arena mode. All you're going to do is go in and fight some opponents. One thing you should be doing every day is completing your bingo board to get some extra rewards. All you have to do is go fight one of the enemies that has the emblems to complete the bingo. One ticket is refreshed every 2 hours, so feel free to waste some attacks just to refresh the order. Moving on to Chapter 10. In Chapter 10, we were able to build the Soulstone Collector. In my opinion, this is the first thing you should be upgrading. A lot of things in the game use these soul stones as upgrade material. In Chapter 10, this is when I had some difficulty AFK clearing some of the mobs. To help your team survive, this is where you may want to swap to a double healer comp. Chapter 11 was where I really had to start my grind. This is where we started clearing a lot of the mind training, going through each of the regions to collect the freebies. My characters were just a little too weak to keep pushing the main story quests. Currently on the first day, I am in Chapter 11, and it's highly unlikely I'm going to get to Chapter 13 by the end of the first day, so this is when I decided to start doing my requests. What I recommend doing is looking for the quests with the highest friendship points, as this is going to unlock the rewards from the client statuses much faster. I think you should spread out your requests to unlock summons, as this is going to increase the strength of your account much easier than focusing on just a single client. So for example, I'm going to accept 2 quests right now. I'm just going to take 2 of the 60 quests. So let's just take this one and this one. And then we can go order them. Field bosses will also spawn throughout the day. Inside the map section, if you click on the big skull over here, you can now auto path to the bosses. You are going to want to go to each boss one at a time with your main party to help unlock the hero goals. You want to go there before the first spawn. Here we are, just getting ready for the first boss spawn. You'll notice the red icon up the top with the list of bosses that are available. You're going to go from top to bottom. Here are our rewards. Let's go to the next one. You will have to leave the area so that you can teleport to the next zone. To teleport, simply click on the skull, click on the next one, and press enter. Early on, your character might be too weak to participate really at all with the bosses. So what I do recommend doing in this case is going in, hitting the boss once or twice until you see some contribution, and then just walking back to the end of the zone. As you can see, a lot of other players are just standing here until the boss is killed so that we get our contribution. If you ever die while bossing, you can always come back to the area. All of your bossing loot are delivered to your mail. Doing your field bosses early on is super important, as we will also be able to unlock many of these points. You can then use your points to upgrade any of your characters, as well as receive the special rewards in the center. There are many other ways to get points to unlock the nodes. Make sure you do these as they unlock. In Chapter 12, you unlock heirloom skills. There are many ways to unlock and upgrade your heirloom skills. Some are unlocked from levels, some are unlocked through the guild, and others are unlocked through challenges. You can only equip 2 heirloom skills at any point in time, so make sure you use the ones that are best for the content you are doing. As it stands, there's still about 5 to 6 hours left on day 1, and we're in Chapter 12. I do think if you are able to, you should push to around about Chapter 12 or 13 on the first day. However, if you do go at a slower pace, don't worry too much. On day 2, we are going to keep pushing the main story quests as far as we can go. If you enjoyed the video, remember to give a like and subscribe. That's going to be all for this one, guys. Chaga.